In mid-1969, Chrysler introduced a new engine known as the 446-pack for Dodge and 446 barrel for Plymouth. They were installed into special edition Super Bs and Road Runners known as the A12 cars. This is their 55-year anniversary, and the Chrysler Nationals had a ton of them. So let's go check them out. There's a lot of things that make these cars special, but we're going to start with the engine, because while the Super B and Road Runner already existed, these A12 cars introduced the 446-pack and 6-barrel engines for the first time. Although both engines have different labels, they are exactly the same. Many people argue that A12s are the ultimate Mopar street car because they were rated with 490 foot-pounds of torque at 3,200 RPM. The horsepower was underrated with 390 at 4,700 RPM. The six-pack was based on the high-performance 440 engine with some differences. The biggest was the aluminum Edelbrock intake and 3 2-barrel Holley carburetors. The cam had the same lift and duration as the 440 high performance, but the cam lobes had a low taper and the lifters were slightly undersized and flat-faced for durability issues. It had heavier steel rocker arms and Hemi valve springs. The forged crank was the same as the 440, but they were specially selected and shot peened. In 1969, the connecting rods were the same as the 440 rods, but were magnafluxed. The heavier rods, which most people call six-pack rods, started the next year in 1970. The top piston ring was moly-filled and it had chrome valve stems. The engine came with a Hemi oil pump and a dual-point distributor. Some people might say, but Kevin, what about the higher compression ratio? And that's true for 1970, 71, and the handful that snuck out of the factory in 72. But in 1969, it remained the same as the 440 with the 10.1 ratio. Heavy-duty coolant included a 7-blade clutch fan and a 26-inch radiator. Sticking with the drivetrain, an A12 came standard with the Hemi 4-speed transmission. The 727 automatic was optional. All of the cars, regardless of transmission, had a Dana 60 rear end with 410 gears and 11-inch drum brakes. Visually, the A12 cars are different than the standard Super Bs and Road Runners, starting with the fiberglass hood, which was painted flat black with the huge functional hood scoop. It has hood pins at each corner because it didn't have hinges. To check your oil, you have to lift off and remove the hood. On the sides of the hood scoop, the Super B had the word 6-pack and the Road Runners had 446 barrel. The tires were Goodyear's G70 15-inch red streaks mounted onto 15-inch by 6 black painted steel wheels with chrome lug nuts. No wheel covers or hubcaps were available. This Super B is in really bad shape and appears to be all original except for the hood, trunk, and engine, which was missing when it was found rotting away in the weeds. Almost all of the floor pans are rotted away. If you enjoy checking out classic cars, especially Mopars, then click the subscribe button below and be notified of my future videos. The Butterscotch Super Bee here is a pretty special car. On the broadcast sheet it indicates pilot car, and the owner states it's the first 4-speed A12 ever built. This A12 pilot car was featured in High Performance Cars magazine in 1969. I had that article at home and have read it numerous times, so it's pretty cool to see that car here in person. This car may not have the shiny new paint the other cars have, but it has something very rare most of these cars don't have, and that's the bucket seats with the console. Most of the automatics had a bench seat with the column shifter. Any Super B can be ordered striped Elite, but it's rare to see, especially on an A12 car. The VIN numbers on these two cars are only 4 numbers apart from each other. So it's pretty cool seeing them here 55 years later, parked right next to each other. If you enjoyed this A12 video, I have some A12 articles and over 20 articles just on the 6-pack engine alone in my website, ultimatemusclecar.com. Click the link below and check it out. And I'll see you in the next video.